What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael, and we have the cards that are premiering and the imports coming out in Blazing Vortex to talk about, and we're just gonna scroll down and get into it. And the first one is Raging Storm Dragon Beautifort 9, which is a level 9 ritual effect monster, 2800 attack and defense. You can ritual summon this card with Breath of Acclamation. When your opponent declares a direct attack, you can discard this card, negate the attack, and if you do, negate the monster's effect. Quick effect, you can target one face-up monster. Your opponent controls, return both that monster and this card to the hand. You can only use each effect of it once per turn. So it is a hand attack. It's a hand trap that negates a monster effect and a direct attack, but they have to make the direct attack first. I like that it has some flexibility, but overall, it'll get someone probably. Like, haha. Quick effect, and its quick effect is also decent. It depends, I guess, if the ritual is any good. If the ritual is just like summon this and then probably some other weird effect that doesn't really matter, this card won't be very good. But you know, it's a wind. The level 7 one that's kind of the same, where it was a hand trap that stopped targeting. That one was better, but overall, it's okay, and it has cool artwork. Breath of Acclamation. Any wind monster whose level equals exactly it. Okay, so it's just a wind one. Not very good. Awful in today's Yu-Gi-Oh standards. Ritual cards need to have more than the ritual summon effect. Also, it's a normal spell card. That's weird. It's not a ritual spell. Huh. Okay. Normal trap card for Synchro Transmission. During the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one monster using monsters you control as material. During your main phase, except for the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one synchro in your graveyard, return to the extract, then draw a card. You can only use each effect of Synchro Transmission once per turn. Seems fun for casual duels, but overall, I don't see this doing anything. It's not good enough in today's Yu-Gi-Oh standards. I don't even think it was very good in Synchro standards, other than casual play. With casual play, you could probably get your friends with this. Tournament play-wise, not very good at all, and too slow in the game. Even its second effect isn't very good because of how slow it is. And yeah, most Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't. If they break your board like that, they usually OTK you in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. And if they don't OTK you, this doesn't matter. Next up, Pendulum Encore. Normal trap card. During your opponent's main phase, you can discard one card. Immediately after this effect resolves, Pendulum summon monsters for the rest of the turn. After this card's effect, cards in your Pendulum Zone cannot activate their effects and cannot be destroyed by your card effects. Also, shuffle them into the deck during the end phase. Once again, I think that this card is more for the casual crowd and for the fun of it. Pendulum decks, not really seeing too much of those nowadays, and on top of that, even if it was, this doesn't seem very good. You would want them to be destroyed rather than be shuffled back into the deck. So that's why that's their downside. I don't know. Like I said, once again, competitive play, no. Freaking casual play, you could probably get your friend with this if you're like playing super bad and slow Yu-Gi-Oh and all that. Overall, not a good card. I like this one even less than I like the Synchro one. And that's not because I like Synchro more than this. I just think that the Synchro trap card's overall better because it can draw you a card. Next up, last for this page, Virtual World Otohime Toto. So, level 6 Earthworm effect, 1200 attack, 1800 defense if you control no monsters, or if all monsters you control are psychic and or worm monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one psychic or worm monster, special summon this card as a tuner, but banish it when it leaves the field for the rest of the turn. You can only summon level 3 level or rank 3 or higher monsters. Okay. It's fine. It's not a bad card. I just think that, like, what I think of this card is I don't think you use it for synchro summoning. I mean, it does summon itself as a tuner, and that's nice, but I would probably rather use it as an Xyz, since you can still make it into like a rank 6 Xyz. I don't know what rank 6 the virtual world deck would use, but nonetheless, I think that's better, because then it gets around the downside of it banishing itself. But overall, I don't know enough about virtual worlds to say one way or the other whether this card is good or not for that deck. But I do like that it summons itself back from the graveyard, and that's usually a good thing for decks, even if it comes with the cost of discarding a card. Next up is the world premiere of War Rocks. War Rock, yeah. So I'm sure you guys probably have already heard of this deck from Zemo or someone else who premiered it. But in case you haven't, let's just get into it. War Rock Fortia, Earth Warrior effect, level 4, 1700 attack, 1700 defense. If your Earth Warrior monster battles after damage calculation, you can add one War Rock card from your deck to your hand, except for itself. Then all War Rock monsters you currently control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. If this card is sent from your monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 5 or higher War Rock monster from your hand or your deck. Hey, those are all pretty good. Adding a card, pretty good. You have to fight, you have to battle, which, that's kind of a downside, since that means the deck kind of wants to go second, and then it doesn't even, really want, it seems like it wants to OTK you. But OTK your opponent. But it does reward you for battling, and it rewards you for if your opponent destroys them or sends them in general. I don't hate it. It's pretty decent. Next up is Rock Warrior Gactos, which is a level 4 Earth Warrior effect monster, 1900 attack, 1900 defense. If an Earth Warrior monster is normal summoned to your field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Woo, better Kage to Kage. If this card is sent to your monster zone from to the graveyard, from your monster zone to the graveyard, English is hard, by opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 5 or higher War Rock monster from your hand or deck. So I'm guessing that the second effect is kind of always there, at least for the level 4s. This guy's good in just any Earth Warrior monster deck, really. He's like a better Kage to Kage. And overall, that's what matters. Next up, War Rock Skylar, Earth Warrior level 6, 2200 attack and defense. Gains 100 attack for each monster your opponent controls during the battle phase in which your Earth Warrior monster battles. Quick effect, you can target one level 5 or lower warrior monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. Also, all War Rock monsters you control gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot attack directly with your level 5 or lower monsters. So, for this card, I'm assuming you use it to attack less, and then you summon your level 5 or whatever back, get possibly an effect of some sort. Overall, not not bad. No, I guess that's what this deck comes down to. Is none of the cards seem really that bad, but none of them really scream great. Like so far, the best card is definitely Gactos, but they'll probably get more support in the future. War Rock Opus is a Earth Warrior level 5, 2100 attack, 2100 defense. If you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are warriors, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If your warrior or your Earth Warriors monster battles, after damage calculation, send one Earth Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard except for itself, then all War Rock monsters you control gain 200 attack until the opponent's end turn. So, all of them seem like they gain 200 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So it makes them harder to, like, attack over, and they are all about the battle phase as the War Rock one. So far, they're not bad. They're not the best either. They're not super exciting. Like I said, they might get more support. We haven't gotten to their spell or trap card yet, so I'll hold off on final judgments until we make it that far. War Rock Basileos, Earth Warrior, level 8. Ooh, trade in target. 2700 attack, 2700 defense. Neat. During the battle phase in which Earth Warrior monsters battles, quick effect, you can activate this effect. This card can attack directly this turn. Also, all War Rock monsters you control gain 200 attack until your opponent's turn. While this card is in your hand or graveyard, when your Earth Warrior monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay. And you can only use each effect once per turn. Their boss monster has a pretty easy summoning condition. It doesn't care if it's in the graveyard or in the hand, so to summon itself out. So you can attack. Your monster gets destroyed by battle, whatever. You just do one of the ones that don't matter as much. And then you summon it out, and it, like, you can buff all your War Rock monsters and keep going and keep attacking and fighting during the battle phase. So this is definitely a go second deck. And it's, like I said, it's not a hard card to summon, because it's also a trading target, so, and it summons itself from the hand, so it's not bad if you draw it, it's not bad if you trade in it, it's not a bad Foolish Burial target either. Overall, a good boss monster for the deck that's not that hard to summon. That's the key for boss monsters. They should be easy to summon for a deck. And this one doesn't even require you to be playing. This one doesn't even really require you to play the War Rock monsters, as long as you're just playing an Earth Warrior monster deck. So this card is not bad just in, like, a casual Earth Warrior deck and a warrior support in general. A lot of warriors are Earths, so most of these are just generic support, which are great. Next up is their field spell, War Rock Mountain. When it's activated, add one War Rock monster from your deck to your hand at the start of battle phase if you control no monsters, or if all monsters you control are warriors, you can special summon one War Rock monster from your deck with a different name than the cards you control. If your warrior monster would be destroyed by battle, you could send this card to the graveyard instead. You can only activate one War Rock Mountain per turn. This is their best card so far, no bar, hands down, and it's not even close. It's not bad in a generic warrior deck, because it kind of stops them from being destroyed by battle. But in this deck, where it's supposed to be, it adds a monster, it special summons a monster. At the start of battle phase, from a hand, but it still special summons a monster, but you get to search any of them from your hand too, so that doesn't matter. If your monster would be destroyed by battle, you can say the field spell's done its job. overall, this is like an amazing card for the deck. I think that is definitely, bar none, the best card for this deck. No hands, nothing has even come close. If you're playing this deck, you should probably play it for this card in particular. The rest of the cards are okay so far, but this card so far is the best. Next up is their spell card, their continuous spell. When it's activated, place 3 counters on it. When War Rock Monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle since graveyard, you can remove 1 counter from this card. And if you do draw a card, if the last counter is removed, you send it to the graveyard. So, you can only control 1 of it, but I mean, the downside is sends it to the graveyard. That's the downside. That's probably less of a downside now, since I don't think anyone's really like playing monsters that get banished really, or playing macrocosmos in this day and age. But it's not bad because it doesn't say you can only get the draw effect once per turn. So if you have a full field of monsters and you're just attacking over your opponent's stuff, trying to get through to push for game, you're drawing cards and everything, you get to draw up to 3 cards a turn. And then draw 3 cards, and hopefully, if you don't get OTK back, if you fail to OTK, this card can keep you in the game because you drew 3 cards. So, not a bad card at all. It's pretty good. So far, their spell cards are definitely the best, and I think what's cool about this deck is that Marauding Captain, an old Yu-Gi-Oh card, doesn't seem that bad in the deck. I mean, it's a level 3, which is kind of awkward with these two, so you probably would play Goblin de Berg. But instead, because it's a warrior that's an earth warrior that's a level 4, so you can like XE summon. But overall, so far, this deck is pretty cool. I will admit this deck's pretty cool. Their 2 spell cards are pretty good. Next up, Reinforcement of the Army's Troops. So, when an attack is declared involving your warrior monster, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower warrior monster from your hand. You can only use this effect of Reinforcement of the Army's Troop per turn. It's fine. It kind of facilitates the OTK aspect of a warrior deck of some sort. Not bad. Don't love it. Don't hate it. It's fine. Probably won't see any competitive play though, if I'm being perfectly honest. But that's okay. You casual friends. Plus, has Marauding Captain on it, like I was mentioning earlier with this card. Neat. Next up. Oh, alright. Final things on the War Rock monster, since we're getting into the Materia Actors. So, deck looks pretty sweet overall. I think that if they get more support out of the set after Blazing Vortex, since they are a TCG exclusive, I think it could have potential to be an okay, like OTK deck, or kind of like a weird steadfast deck where you fail to OTK, but then you just like XEs summon your monsters, because none of the cards restrict you to Earth Warrior monsters or anything like that. So you can still link with them, you can still do all that, and it's perfectly fine. It just wants you to have Earth Warrior monsters, which is fine. This one, the field spell requires you to have warrior monsters to get more value, but that second effect isn't necessarily needed if you're going into main phase 2, and if you're not, and you can still make good warriors from the extra deck. Overall, War Rock monster pretty decent. Just needs a little bit more support, and they can possibly be a meta deck, or maybe a tier 2 deck. It's hard to evaluate cards that haven't come out yet, obviously, for possible future support. Overall, deck's pretty cool. If you like the deck, definitely pick it up because it looks sweet. Next up is the Materia Actors and Materia Actors, and they look cool. I like their artwork. And there's only two though. So, Materia Actor Gigaboros, Dark Dragon, rank 3 XC's effect. 500 attack, 500 defense. This card gains 500 attack and defense for each material in your hand. It also requires 2 or more level 3 monsters. You can use each of the following effects of Gigaboros: detach 1 material, attach 1 Materia Actor monster from your deck as material. During your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can add 1 card attached to this card to your hand. So, the idea is you attach a different one. Then, when your opponent goes to battle, you add the Materia monster back. Okay. Interesting. It's certainly an interesting card. That's all I can say about it. It's generic. You can make it with a tour guide from the Underworld, for example, if you want. That's pretty cool. Then you can detach one of your tour guide or the monster you summoned out with tour guide. Equip the thing, and then during your opponent's main or battle, you just add the Materia Gigadra, which is the next card we're talking about, to your hand, which is a Dark Dragon level 3, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. Discard 1 card, special summon 1 level 3 normal monster from your deck, or from your hand or deck. Or if you discard a monster activated this card, you can special summon Materia Actor instead. You can only use this effect of Materia Giga once per turn, and you cannot special summon from the extract except Xyz. Okay. I don't like that the deck wants you to play normal monsters. Normal monsters have a decent amount of support nowadays, so they're not completely dead in the water, but it is a downside. And on top of that, it doesn't say like you can't special summon monsters from your extra deck except Xyz for the rest of the turn. It just says you can't do it, period. So that's another downside. Overall, the Materia Actors, they look cool in terms of they look cool, but I don't think that they're very good overall. The War Rock monsters are definitely the best cards out of the new TCG premieres in terms of the archetypes, except for maybe this card. But like I said, I don't know enough about Virtual Worlds to really say if this is gonna make or break the deck. War Rocks are coming out in the Blazing Vortex. They're pretty cool. Anyway, that is it for today. If it is your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me legal deck profiles or replays, emails in the description. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful day.